been lit, boy. Everything goes.
We now return you to regular programming.
What is up, guys, and welcome to the Everything Goes podcast, where it is Happy Halloween. And you know what? Ace looks the part. I don't know if you can see his beautiful flock of hair he's got going in his bathrobe. Flick it, Ace. Flick it, flick it. Well, we're going to get into it today with the Falcons field goal that sends them to win and take over the division as Carolina chokes, where he throws his helmet, gets a penalty, missed the win and field goal. Whole thing that had Pollard 3 touchdowns and leads the Cowboys to a 49-29 victory. Dallas scores the most points of the season in the NFL. Alvin Kamara, we need our swagger back. Saints, what we doing? What does he do? Puts the team on his back, gets 3 touchdowns. Who dat, baby? We're back. Shut out the Raiders, 0 points.
And then
AJ Brown, 3 touchdowns, wakes up to a drug test. How you doing? That's how we start the podcast off. Ace, Dad, pleasure to be back with you guys. How y'all doing?
Happy Halloween, everybody.
Yes, feeling good. Feeling good. Vibes are high here.
Hey,
Vibes are high everywhere. 3-0 weekend for us.
3-0 weekend for us. That's a rare weekend.
Hey,
That's a rare weekend.
will the trade deadline bring us tricks or treats, man?
Hey,
I hope.
what a
Ty
segment.
fooled me already.
Oh, Ace, I'm
We all
going to
might
clip
get
it,
tricked.
Ace. I'm going to
He
clip
fooled
it,
me
Ace.
already. He's
Where'd
like,
you
oh my
get it?
God, breaking news, man. The Dallas Cowboys give a 2nd and a 5th round pick for Jerry Jeudy. I'm all like, yeah.
We were just
Oh.
sitting here. We were sitting here all quiet, and he's eating chips. He goes, "No, really?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Yes."
No, that's not
I'm like,
fair.
"I'm so sorry,
That's
but
not
it's
fair.
it's not true. It's not true." Oh, hey, we're halfway through the season.
But
We're halfway
honestly,
through
It doesn't
What-
seem like it. That's crazy.
I know how crazy
I
that is. And
mean,
we're starting to see who's legit, who's starting to actually get the wheels rolling, who's maybe not so legit. Hey,
What do you want your teams to do at the trade deadline? Like, Ty, you're
Oh,
only a game out
great.
of first.
yeah,
I mean, Ace, you got a 4-game lead now with your win now because the Packers are 4 games back in the losers bracket. What do you want your team to do?
I'll go first, I guess. Me personally, like Saints still have a lot of cap room right now. Played their best perfect game that they could have played all year, and that's exactly who the Saints could be if they consistently play like that with not a full healthy team either, which is scary. High ranking offense with no Michael Thomas, no Landry. If I'm being me personally, I'm gonna go out there and see, is there anyone on the defensive market that I could pick up to add to this defense that played well Sunday? I mean, you think about some of these names that are getting taken already, like Dallas they got that defensive tackle. The Bears just traded Smith. It's not 4 first-round or second-round picks. I mean, it's like what, 3rd-round picks they're trading these guys for. You know, so
Mhm.
I'd be curious to see the Saints make some phone calls and see what the trade value is for some of these defensive players, because we're not fully healthy yet, and we played some pretty good defense. And if we can just get healthy and get some additions, I'd be happy. And I also talked to Dad. I said, I'd be curious to see if they'd even take some phone calls on Jameis Winston, just roll with Andy Dalton the rest of the year. You got Taysom Hill to back him up.
Yeah, honestly, for the Saints, it's maybe get healthy offensively, and like you said, maybe a defensive player.
I love the hair.
I'd be interested
the
about
hair.
Jameis Winston. It actually looks sort of natural. Well, it's way too
Hey,
black.
low key, kind of low
but-
key, low key. All right, so who
So
do you want the
nice- so
Vikings?
1980s.
Who do you want? You got the Vikings who are riding high right now, a division that just has no identity right now. You know, Vikings have had that top spot. They got it. What are you thinking that your team could need? Wide receiver help, maybe another running back. Not really sure how Cook's been playing lately. Maybe a tight end.
Yeah, it's been rumored. Chris sent something about there's interest, but it didn't say who. I thought we were rumored to almost be going after a few receivers. I wouldn't be surprised if the Vikings didn't do anything because we don't have a lot of cap space, but I would almost want somebody on the D line or O line, if anything, because watching the Eagles, watching the Cowboys, watching some of these teams get after the quarterback, like they can, and what was the Bills? The Bills rotate like 7 or 8 guys, it seems like, on the offensive line. So
Yeah.
like, or defensive line. I would love to have a little more depth on the D line because overall it's going to come down to getting pressure on the quarterback.
I agree.
And
I agree because Dalvin Cook did have
yeah.
111 yards rushing. I just saw that, so he is doing
Yeah.
fine. Looks like.
I'm
with
gonna
his
tell you
shoulder.
what though, watching the Bills last night, they concern me because the Bills are one dimensional. They don't
Yep.
run the ball. They do not run the ball at all. And the Packers, they don't throw the ball. They run the ball, even when they're losing. So the Bills, they have to get a running game. And I think that's why they were calling the Saints for Kamara. But
I was going to say, yeah, that's the only phone call that I heard that almost took place.
They definitely are one-dimensional. And that's going to be a problem when teams pick up on that. I'm not even a coach and I'm picking up on that.
But no one's stopping them right now, right? You know what I mean? Like that. You know, we talked about that one time when Michael Thomas was having his elite season and we had that guy on from the Dallas show that you like. And you said to him, hey, we talk about this every week. You know, you could see Michael Thomas is running a particular route. And I said to them, but yet no one stopped it. I think the Bills are just a team right now, even though they're one-dimensional, no one's found a way to stop them right now.
Yeah, but you think about it. Last night, they threw 2 unnecessary interceptions last night, late in the game.
Oh, that was so dumb.
The Packers did stick around.
You see what the Packers fans are saying, though? They said they felt like the Bills were just toying with him, though.
Yeah.
They said that he doesn't make that throw if it's a serious game.
I kind of agree with that.
But my thing is, you get into the playoffs, you're playing against solid teams. And if you're one-dimensional, man, and you just rush forward and drop everybody back, now beat me. You know what? The only running back you have to worry about is Josh Allen's legs. That's it.
Yeah. Hey, let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys real quick, because you know Tony Pollard, 3 rushing touchdowns, 131 yards rushing. The guy can clearly be a starter. This is not me hassling Zeke, because I feel like whenever you talk about Pollard, you know, they're thinking, all right, you want to get rid of Zeke. They're 2 different running backs. Zeke is still a powerful running back. He's getting paid all that money, so you got to play him. But is Pollard a free agent next year? Because if I'm Dallas, if he's not a free agent, do you listen to trade talks in the offseason?
No, because this is the year, this is Zeke's last year where the Cowboys can actually get out of that horrible contract. So what's going to happen is Zeke's going to probably realize he's going to become a free agent. He's going to probably renegotiate his contract, get a lower salary, and everything will be fine in Dallas land. But Tony Pollard, 14, he's never had more carries than 17 carries in his life. 14 for 131, like you said. He's the first Cowboy with 3 rushing touchdowns since Joseph Randle in 2015.
Wow.
I think he is what Zeke used to be. You know, Zeke right now, Zeke is your power horse. He's the guy that's going to go in there and wear the defense down. He's going to get it 15, 16 times a game. But Tony Pollard, he's the future of the Cowboys. He really is.
Now, they're a great dynamic together. It's almost like when Ingram was still kind of getting out of his prime and Kamara came in, they were a great duo punch. Now, not that I think you should, because I think they run well together, but say a team comes up to you right now and says, hey, we'll take almost 90% of that contract. We'll give you 2 seconds and a 5th round pick. Something small, like nothing, like no 1st round pick. Would you think about that?
Absolutely not. He's the future of your team. He's on a rookie deal right now.
No. I'm talking about Zeke. I'm talking about Zeke.
No one's going to pick up Zeke's contract. No one's going to give you. You might get a 7th round. No one's going to pay Zeke $19 million a year. It's just not happening. Yeah. We're stuck with that bad deal. But the thing that helped the Cowboys this week, 3rd down was horrible for them. They were 9 of 11 at 81.8% on 3rd down yesterday. Their highest rate in a single game in at least the past 30 years. They had 3rd and 6, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 1, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 1, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 12. And they looked good yesterday. Kellen Moore actually did his job. You know, moved the ball around, moved the ball. Kellen actually let them play offense. I mean, Dak play action, rolling out to the sides, throwing the ball down, looked really, really good yesterday. My only concern is our rush defense is horrible. We allowed 240 yards rushing yesterday. We just picked up Hankins. It didn't help. We're 3-22 when we allow 240-yard rushing games or more. The last time they won a game when we allowed 240 yards rushing was 1995.
Wow.
That's odd, though, that you have a winning record. But to be honest, like, you kind of expected the Bears to really solely run with the ball. They did it against the Patriots. I think it's safe to say Justin Fields is not the most accurate quarterback. Granted, they have absolutely dog crap around him. Sorry, Darnell Mooney and whatever, Cole Kmet. But, like, you guys would probably be, Mooney might be a number 2, number 3 on another team. And I shouldn't all blame it on him, but Justin Fields, they're the highest rated rushing team, or I think like rush per average. I think they have the highest rush yards.
Well, they have 200. They have 200 plus rushing yards now in 3 straight games. It's the first time since 1968 when Gale Sayers did it. The problem with the Bears is their goal to go offense. They have 5 TDs on 11 possessions, 4 turnovers on downs. That's the most in the NFL. They're right now. It doesn't matter though, because after they trade away that Roquan Smith guy, They have 9 draft picks for next year. They got $100 million in cap space next year. That team is set. That team is set for the next couple of years. But the problem is when you sign all those rookies, all the rookie contracts are going to expire about the same time. And depending on how good they are, you're going to be in contract hell.
And I'm curious too. If they draft a quarterback next year, maybe in the second round with all those second round picks, or even the first round, and then go like all offensive weapons and defensive weapons, or they just try and build around Justin Fields, because we saw with Jalen Hurts last year, they were the number 1 rush team. I mean, he was running a lot, not necessarily the greatest weapons. Sanders was a good running back, hit the great draft, good GM. They get some good wide receiver help. They get some defense help. And just like that, turned around, and now like the whole package is coming together. Not comparing Justin Fields to Jalen Hurts, because I still feel like Jalen Hurts is way out of the ballpark compared to him. But yeah, I'd be curious to see if that head coach, first year being their head coach, if he wants to keep Justin Fields or if he wants to go his own way.
I got to tell you something, though, real quick about the Cowboys game, though. I was texting you guys. We were up 28-7, and one turn of events changed that whole game. That 15-yard penalty for roughing the passer, which in my eyes was complete BS, because when you have a guy coming in with his hands up, he actually tips the ball out of the quarterback's hand, and his follow-through hits Fields in the head. They call roughing the passer. The ball was intercepted. So what happens now? You give them 1st and goal. They score a touchdown. They get the ball after the freaking end of the first half, and they score again. Now you have a 23 or 28-23 game. I ran a rant about this last week. They need an official upstairs. They really do.
Mm-hmm.
This is getting someone can easily review that play within seconds. They do it in college all the time.
They target
pick up those fouls.
They targeting.
You know what? It's getting to the point where Micah Parsons said it great. NFL football is turning into the Pro Bowl. You can't touch the quarterback. You might as well put him in a T-shirt and pair of short shorts and let him run around with no pads on. Because if you breathe on him wrong now, it's a 15-yard penalty. And I just think it's ruining the game of football.
I'm glad you brought that point up about just the ref in general, because we've talked about this before, but I wanted to bring that up for DJ Moore, because I had the rules on that play are he can't take the helmet off if he's on the field of play or the end zone. Technically, he's out of the end zone at that point, and he probably knows, or maybe he doesn't. He definitely does now, that you shouldn't take the helmet off. But like the play was already
that's too close. And I don't. That's too big of a play to call a penalty there. I think like that has to be like
the dude misses the freaking. I mean,
like that has
a 48-yard extra point.
Yeah,
and he would have made it. I swear, I watched the replay. He would have made that. I think it was 15 yards closer, because it was just wide left.
You know what disgusts me about that whole game? It was a 2-5 team against a 3-4 team for first place in a horrible division.
There we go again.
That absolutely is horrible.
We are halfway through the season. I saw your tweet, and I literally said you need to relax. The Falcons are 4-4, and we're only halfway through the season. They could easily finish way above 500.
But you would have had a 3-5. If Carolina won that game, they would have been in first place at 3-5.
And who knows what their record looks like at the end of the year. It's too early for you to be like, this is the worst division ever. I don't know why they're going to let a 3-5 team make the play. You don't know what they're going to – the Saints could win the next 7 out of their 9 games. How many games are left? You know what I mean? Like, you just don't know.
All right. Anyway, by the way, real quick on the Cowboys game. Dallas, Micah Parsons has now recorded 2 or more sacks in a single game 7 times in the NFL in his career. No player has recorded this many 2-sack games this soon since sacks became an official stat in 1982. Wow.
I did want to agree with you, by the way, when you talked about, roughing the passer. That could easily be reviewed. Yeah. Just like targeting, I mean, I know things happen fast and the refs don't necessarily see it, but you could easily, like, sometimes their finger grazes the helmet and they'll throw the flag because they just see the hand.
Yeah.
And how about this other one? I think it was the Rams and 49ers game. I think Allen Robinson got a first down, and he sticks his hand out for the first down, and he's doing it obviously in front of a defender. The defender looks at the ref. The ref throws a flag for taunt, and then the 49ers are celebrating. Like, it's like, bro, like, you can't stick your hand out for first down and be like pumped up that you got. Anyways, I wanted to actually get into the Rams. Are the Rams done? Let me see. I had it here.
Mode? Oh yeah,
they are 3-4.
Well, their offensive coordinator is now the head coach of the Vikings, who are 6-1. So I think they're done.
Matthew Stafford only has 187 passing yards. Their leading
and Cooper Kupp got hurt.
Their leading rusher only had 21 yards rushing. I get it. 49ers defense.
Well, sorry, real quick. Can I just bring up the whole panic mode scenario with them? And so 2 teams from each division them, the Jets, the Raiders, and what was the other team I put up there? Where the frick is it?
I agree with the Jets.
Bucks, Rams, Bucks, Jets.
Yeah.
Raiders.
Hey, Tom Brady finished his divorce though, so he's either gonna play for another 5 years or he's gonna retire and go hide somewhere.
Dude,
but
you know what's sick? Since you just brought that up quick, and I don't mean to interrupt you guys, they already have Vegas bets on who Giselle's next boyfriend's gonna be. That's horrible. Yeah. What kind of world do we live in, man? You can bet on someone.
That's crazy. Can bet on anything, I guess.
Nuts.
I agree with you, Ace, though. I think the Rams are in a little bit of panic mode. I know that division is still pretty close. Seattle in their division? Is Seattle in their division? Seattle looks good. And I'm sorry, and we all diss Geno Smith, but he's playing well. That team looks good, but man,
I still think the 49ers win that division.
49ers. Mm-hmm. Can we just praise Jimmy Garoppolo for a second? 235 pass starts, 2 touchdowns, 21 for 25. You
gotta give it to McCaffrey, man.
McCaffrey throwing the triple crown out there.
Man. 3 TDs, 34-yard passing 34-yard passing TD, 94-yard rushing TD, and a 54-yard receiving TD. Last time that happened was 2005. Danny and Tomlinson.
Hey, you know what's funny? He got the triple crown, but Taysom Hill has got the double crown like 10 times already. Can we just talk about that? Anyways, I mean, for real though, the 49ers, 31 points against the Rams defense that's supposed to be stacked, and they didn't even have Deebo Samuel. Like, can you imagine the plays that Shanahan's going to be able to run when Deebo is healthy and Christian McCaffrey's playing great? I mean, he had 94 rushing yards. Let's see how many receiving yards he had. He had 55 receiving yards, and he threw a touchdown. Like,
and you know what's funny? You don't even hear about Kittle. You don't hear about Deebo Samuel as much this year.
Well, Kittle's been coming back from an injury, I think. Mm-hmm. So he's been off to a slow start. But man, that team, if that team gets hot, like that's a lot of weapons.
They're putting decent numbers up, but let's just remember this, guys. They lost to the Broncos 11-10 1 week. I mean, I know
the Broncos have the second best defense in the NFL.
Yeah, but they lost to the Panthers. Or no, they lost to the Falcons too. So they're hit or miss, but I think with McCaffrey now, they're going to get Deebo healthy. I agree, Chris. I think they should win the division. I don't think there's any trades. Sorry, I don't think there's any trades the Rams can do right now that are going to make them look better.
And I think and you know what the thing is screwy. The thing is really screwy is if they have a losing season, they still don't have no first round draft picks. They gave all their draft picks away for the next how many years? 4 years. But people need to slam the brakes on the Broncos. I mean, the Broncos aren't a bad team. They have so many offensive line weapons, and for all the speculation that like Chubb's gone and Jerry Judy's gone, why not ride this out? And if you finish last in your division, so what? You take that draft pick, you build up that offensive line, and you get a running game. You have the offensive receiving weapons there, and you have a pretty decent quarterback. Get that line strength up and get a running game, and you're going to be solid. Your defense is keeping you in games right now.
Yeah, he's definitely not putting up the same numbers he was. But number one, like I feel like ever since Russell Wilson's gone to Denver, he's a strange guy all of a sudden. Like, how about that interview where he said he was doing high knees and stuff on the plane while everyone's sleeping, and then
get out of here.
But the kicker from the Ravens made fun of him.
But do you applaud that? I mean, the guy's working out, doing workout.
I don't know. I don't know.
Anyway, I tell you what, the guy has a bum arm, and he actually threw some nice passes. You know, we had family members over that watched the Broncos game. They won here in our house, so now this is going to be a tradition. They'll be coming over to watch the Broncos game because they win. But I seriously think slam the brakes on a little bit. Don't trade away all your assets. And let this ride out. I mean, you're in a tough division right now. Kansas City is just really, really good. So just ride this out, pick up some draft picks, and you know what? Build that offensive line, build that wall, and they have no running game. Melvin Gordon's washed. They have no running game. Get a running game and stop putting so much pressure on Russell Wilson. That guy runs around more here than he did in Seattle.
Yeah,
they'll be fine. The only thing is these people thought, oh my God, Russell Wilson's came in, the Savior's here. We're going to the Super Bowl. No, you have line problems. Yeah, you have a running game problem.
Ty, to that point, I think he kind of bought into that.
Yeah.
Russ did. And his personality has changed since he's gotten famous.
The funny thing is, is I waited to the end of the game with that interview. I got to give him praise, man. He actually pulled all these guys in a circle. They prayed together. It was a great moment.
Yeah, they always do.
And then he did his interview, and we all waited for that. Let's ride. And he did it.
Hey, it's back. It's back, Ace. Hey, let's ride into the question that Ace had for us. I
seriously can't stand him.
hey, let's ride into the question that Ace gave us. Teams that are in panic mode. We'll start in the AFC East. I do agree that it is the Jets. You're 5-3 and the Bills are 6-1. You're not putting up a lot of offense right now. And you just came off a loss. You need to keep winning if you want to stick in this division, because the Dolphins got Tua back, and Waddle and Tyreek Hill are both in the top 5 for receiving yards right now, and they put on a show against the Lions when the Lions were blowing them out at first. So I think the Jets is very important for them this week to get it together. If Wilson does not put up offensive numbers again this game, it is very questionable where you're like, all right, do we put Flacco in and see what he could just do at this point? Because Wilson just has not developed in both these years, in my opinion.
But seriously, we're talking about an NFL season where it is so close. I mean, the divisions are so close.
I know.
I mean, the Jets are a wild card team right here. I think the only thing they're panicking about is they're not going to get a top 1, 2, or 3 draft pick next year because they're playing so well. That's the only panic they have. I mean, right now they're 5-3 and they have a game lead over the next wild card.
Yeah, but as a Jets fan, I'd be like, oh, we've never been this good. Like in a couple of years, let's keep it going. Like I don't want to be 5-4. Next year, you're 5-5.
I mean, they're plus 17 in run differential and score differential. I mean, when was the last time you saw that?
I know.
That's a weird.
It's wild.
5-3, a positive record. Well, it makes sense. But
the thing that scares me about them is they're so gung ho. They're one of the teams that want to give a first round draft pick plus more compensation to get Chubb from the Broncos.
That would be huge.
Chubb's not going to fix your team though.
Yeah, but it improves their defense.
But let me, Ty, seriously. Is there one player in the NFL that's going to take you and put you over that top and say, yep, we're all guaranteed playoff spot? No, there's not.
No, you saw it with Von Miller last year.
Impactful. Yeah, Von Miller. Chubb could be like a Von Miller type. Here's the thing, though. Jets, guess who they play next week? The Bills. Guess who they play the week after? The Patriots.
Could you imagine they beat the Bills?
Wilson, Zach, no shot.
That'd be huge.
No. I would. They have a better shot to beat the Bills, I think, with Joe
I get
Flacco
excited for upsets. Hey, that's my hot take. Jets are gonna beat the Bills this week.
Oh God, no.
Let's keep this ball rolling because I know he has to leave early. Who you guys picking from the AFC East?
Bills in Miami. I think.
No, I'm talking about panic mode. I'm sorry.
Oh, panic mode. New England
Jets.
Interesting answer. Jets are interesting because there's a good QB controversy kind of going on because Mac Jones is okay right now, but not necessarily playing the greatest.
You know what's sad?
But they're gonna, yeah.
You know what's sad about the Jets? Guess their record at home. I bet you guys will never rest. They have 5 wins. How many wins do you think they have at home?
0.
Yeah, 1, maybe 2.
They're
1-3 at home. They're 4-0 on the road.
Wow.
Are they going into Buffalo? Are they going into Buffalo?
They're at home.
Darn it. All right, we'll keep it moving. We got time.
Look, my thing is I don't think the Jets are in panic mode. I think New England. I think Belichick has, he has so much pressure on him because he's been good for so long, and now that Brady's gone, it's a sinking ship, and everyone's like, oh my God, you can't win without Brady. The pressure's on him. They're 4-4. I mean.
They went to the playoffs last year.
They're only a game out. I know they're only a game out of the wild card. They have a quarterback controversy because they're creating their own controversy.
But the backup's not playing bad, though. That's the thing.
And Mac Jones is turning the ball over. Belichick hates that.
But is that pressure? Is that pressure now because you have a quarterback coming in every other possession now?
Hey, did you see that one ball he threw?
I think the Jets. I just think the Jets, they lost Breece Hall. At least the Patriots have 2 running backs, maybe even 3. I don't even know.
Hey, but the Jets did get Robinson.
Or is it the Dolphins? True, or is it Dolphins who started out undefeated and then lost? No, because 5-3.
Tua got injured. They lost. He's back. They're winning again. All right, let's keep moving. AFC North. Panic mode. I'm really taking nobody here right now because the Steelers are just bad and the Browns just really don't have everything as far as the quarterback. So I don't really see a team. The Bengals maybe because they lost Jamar Chase for 2 to 4 weeks.
I think panic mode is the Bengals because you went to the Super Bowl last year. Everyone's expecting you to bounce back and go right back to the Super Bowl again. They expect a great year from you. And they are improving. I mean, they've won 2 in a row now. Their defense is playing solid now. I mean, they've only allowed how many points in the last 2 games? 10 points.
Tonight could dictate whether it's panic mode or not. There's still a lot of weapons.
True.
It's still Joe Burrow. You know, they will get it. Ace, what's your pick?
Yeah, they should beat the who do they play?
Browns.
Division rival Browns at home. I'll say the Bengals. No, you know what? I'm gonna say the Ravens. I think they're somewhat one-dimensional.
Okay.
Well, no, with Andrews healthy,
Hey, they play the Saints this week in the Dome, and Andrews might not be healthy, and they just lost their number one receiver.
Yeah.
My thing is why did they go defense today at the trade deadline? I mean, why did they pick up Roquan Smith when you need receivers for your quarterback? I mean, your defense is already pretty damn good.
Maybe because the price was so low. You know, you got Lamar at least. Yeah. You know, if you can get a good defense that can hold to limited points, you know, and you could score. I don't know. AFC South is the Titans, Colts, and Jags and Texans. I would love to take the Colts here, but I'm honestly going to take the Jags. I mean, you started off 2-1, and it looked like Trevor Lawrence had it figured out, and you have lost 5 in a row. I mean, at what point? I'm a big
games though.
Close games. I'm a big Trevor Lawrence fan, and I'm not putting all of the blame on him. But at what point is it like, all right, when are we going to see the Trevor Lawrence from college? I mean, there's been some times, and I haven't seen every game. But, I mean, there's some games, it's like 3 quarters in. I'm looking at the stats while I'm watching the Saints game. He's only got like 90 yards passing.
They're the only team in that division that has a positive differential. I think they're a few weapons away offensively. I think
their running back is good. That running back that came back this year after getting injured last year, he's been playing really well.
They have Christian Kirk. I think they need a few more weapons offensively, and I think they're going to be fine. Defensively, they turned it around. I mean, they're one of the best defenses in that division. I just think give them time. It's a new coach now. You know, you got Doug Peterson there. It's a new coach. He's going to take them to where they need to go. I think they'll be fine.
Well, and they could have beaten the freaking Giants if they would just would have kicked field goals instead of going for it on 4th. Like that's what drives me nuts about teams. You're in a close game anyways. Why elect to go for it when you're likely going to, if you're moving the ball decent already, take the 3 freaking points.
That's so the new trend of the NFL. I mean, you see teams on 4th down going for it in their own territory. That's the new trend.
Yeah, the Packers did that last night mainly because I think they knew it was going to be a tough win no matter what.
Are you guys all agreeing on the Jags, or are you taking someone else?
I'm not.
I think the Colts are in trouble.
I think the Colts. I think the pressure on the Colts because they changed quarterbacks and it still is the same outcome.
Well, they were winning that game with 40 seconds left. And Taylor Heineke and Scary Terry scored a touchdown.
I think Frank Wright's going to be the first coach fired this year. I really do. I think he's done. I think
there's a lot of people that like that.
No, he won't be the first coach because Matt Rule got fired. But I think Frank Wright's going to get fired. I mean, you make the change from a $30+ million quarterback to a backup, and then
he got injured anyway. He got injured anyway.
But I'm just saying, I just think this is a sinking ship and it's sinking fast, and it's a bad division. And let's face it, Tennessee's turned it on now, man. Tennessee is hot. They won 5 in a row. The running game's going. I mean, Derrick Henry's last 4 games against. Listen to me. Derrick Henry's last 4 games against the Texans, he's got almost 1,000 yards rushing. Wow. He's got 32 carries for 211, 3 TDs, 22 carries for 212, 2 TDs, 34 carries for 252 TDs.
Jeez,
and just yesterday, 32 carries for 219 yards and 2 TDs. Derrick Henry is kicking the butt out of the Texans.
I mean, and speaking of Willis, I'm guessing he had less than 100 yards passing.
Actually, I think he had more than that. But still, I think he had more than that, actually.
Well, either way, they can still. Vrabel's the type of coach like Belichick, where it's like, okay, we're gonna keep doing this until you can beat us.
Yep.
And it makes sense. He came from their system.
I honestly think they're the only team in the NFL that gives their running back a workload like that. I mean, that workload
he's so good. Why not?
Is like so 1990s, 1980s football.
But he's once in a lifetime player too. Look at the size of him. Like that's rare. Like the last time I saw that was like a Chris Ivory kind of guy, if you remember him.
Yeah.
You got the AFC West. You got the Chiefs, Chargers, Broncos, Raiders. I am taking the Raiders. They came into the Saints game, winning 2 of their last 3 games. Watching that game, I think the offensive line's in trouble. Carr got hit so many times. Devontae Adams was dealing with an illness. Defense looked like they couldn't stop anything. That's the team. I mean, you're right there. The division's still close, but they need to turn it around.
I honestly think you can put it on all 3 teams. I think you can put it on the Chargers, the Broncos, and the Raiders. All 3 of those teams were supposed to have great years. They're supposed to be the best division in football. I think. I mean, you look at it. The freaking Raiders had a coach in there that filled in for Gruden, took them to the playoffs. They got rid of him And look at this team now, 2-5. I mean, the team wanted that guy as the head coach, and they played great for him. And I think the Raiders, the Broncos, I mean, you can list all three of them. I think the pressure's on all three of them. The Chargers were supposed to be one of the best teams in the NFL this year, and their defense is absolutely trash.
Yep. I agree. Raiders first, but Broncos haven't looked much better. They've been saved by their defense so many times this year.
Well, see, the Broncos I can give a little leeway because they got a new quarterback, a new coach, and a new offensive coordinator. I can give them, and they have a lot of injuries. But you look at the Chargers, man. Everyone talked highly about the Chargers.
Sean Payton might go there.
Yeah.
They're saying that they say that's where he wants to go if he comes back. NFC East, Eagles, Cowboys, Giants, Commanders. This is a long shot.
The best division in football.
I'm not necessarily saying they're in panic mode, but I think the Giants losing last week is a little bit of a panic because Dallas won. Commanders keep on winning. Not saying the Giants will finish last, but with that division, how close it is, losing a game like that against Seattle it's a little big. Are the Giants being exposed? You know,
we talked about it, man. Traveling east to west, man. That's tough. It is. It's really, really tough.
It's tough.
I would say the Giants too. I don't even consider the commies relevant. I'm just going to call them the commies.
Hey, they're 4-4 though. You know, they're a 3-game winning streak.
Look, I honestly think that, you know, if anyone has pressure on them, I think it's Washington. I mean, they brought in all those free agents. They brought in a new quarterback, and I think Rivera is just sitting there at 500. I mean, let's just face it; it's a great division.
He might be the next coach fired.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't know if Washington might fire their coach just to take the heat off of Snyder. You know what I mean? So it might be like, let's get the news in the paper.
Hey, 3-game winning streak. I'm curious to see where Washington goes from here because they keep winning. They can keep that division really tight.
I got to tell you something, though.
And don't put Wentz. Sorry, don't put Wentz back in.
Heineke's 2-0.
Yeah.
I got to tell you something, though. I was looking at the Eagles' schedule.
Easy schedule,
I think that,
bro.
Listen.
Easy schedule.
The Eagles remain undefeated. The Eagles remain undefeated. They're 35. They won 35-13. They led by double digits in all 7 of their games. They're already 13-point favorites against the Texans.
Go ahead and read that schedule because I looked at it yesterday.
I looked at their schedule. I can see them going 16-1,
or
15-2, and the one loss would, of course, be the Cowboys. But the only three teams, listen. The only 3 tough games I see that they have left are the Titans, the Cowboys, and the Saints. Those are the only 3 tough games that I see left. But I can see them going 15-2. I can honestly see them getting so pumped up that they challenge Miami for that undefeated record.
I really do. Like it too. They think about it. They have not had like a hiccup game. They were supposed to beat the Steelers. They beat the Steelers. Granted, the Cowboys didn't have Dak. Like you said, I think that could be that's easily the toughest game left on the schedule. They still beat the Cowboys. It was a tough game, but they just play hard. And I think that's a credit to Hurts and a credit to the coaching. They're a deep team too. They are so deep. Like Hurts has their offensive line. He has so much time back there.
For a quarterback that they wanted to shoot down at the beginning of the season. They already had plans to draft the quarterback next year. That kid looked like a freaking Pro Bowler yesterday. Amazing. Yeah. Amazing. I mean, A.J. Brown had 3 touchdowns in the first half.
Yeah. All right. Hey, we're running low on time. Let's move on to the NFC North. Vikings, Packers, Bears, Lions. I could definitely pick the Lions. I'm going with the Packers, man.
Baby. I said Minnesota by 3+ games, baby.
Hey, if Green Bay can't get themselves a receiver to help Aaron Rodgers, that they're just going to keep going down and down. Hey, the Bears might even finish in second place at this point.
I mean, I think we know what the Bears are. I'm more panicked about the Packers, honestly. They played well defensively in the second half of yesterday's game, and they can run the ball if they just stick to it. But Bakhtiari, you don't know what you're going to get with the offensive line, sadly. And the defense did not. They were missing so many tackles.
Is too hyped up. Half. Defense is just not there. Offensive line's trash right now. Defense is overhyped.
I honestly got to say, you know what? The pressure has to be on Detroit. You know, you've been down and out for so long.
They fired one of their coaches today.
The defensive back coach. I think, and that's just the start of it. That's Dan Campbell trying to fire people to save his job. I just honestly think the pressure has to be on Detroit. You've had how many first-round draft picks in the last how many years? Top 5. Eventually, you got to turn that around. The defense, if they get a defense, they're going to be fine. I mean, they're scoring with the best of them. But
they could be one of the best teams in the league this year if they could just have some defense. I mean, if you look at those games, they were blowing out Miami.
Minus 52 in differential.
When Swift is on the field, Jared Goff is playing well. Like, they are a good offensive team. In my opinion, they should have 2 losses this year. They played the Patriots and they put up like no points. And I forget who else. Maybe it was Dallas. They put up like not a lot of points. But there are so many games where they scored over 20 points. Dude, but they allowed like 30.
The Dolphins and the Lions yesterday, Tua and Goff combined for 725 yards with 4 TDs, 0 interceptions. I mean, Goff isn't the problem. Goff is playing great. Offensively, they're playing great. Defensively, they got to turn it around. They have to.
We'll do this last one, then we'll end it. NFC South, Falcons, Buccaneers,
we're good.
Saints,
we 15 minutes
Panthers.
The trick-or-treaters come.
I'm taking the Buccaneers. They're on a 3-game losing streak. Tom Brady clearly has a lot going on in his life right now. The offense isn't clicking. They don't scare me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but Tom Brady's not the problem.
I'm not saying Tom Brady's the problem. I'm not saying it's the problem.
The problem is you have unhealthy offensive starters. You have guys who are wide open, have balls placed right in their hands.
Who's unhealthy? I mean, they've been back. Mike Evans is back. Godwin is back. Fournette's playing.
They had 4 starters last week that were out.
I mean, offensive line is injured, but still, like, you have your key weapons more than most average NFL teams have.
It's not Tom. It's you know what it is? I honestly think it's their offensive scheme. They get a new coach. You get a new scheme. It's like the president. You get a new president. They change everything the old president did, and the shit goes to shit. But
Ace, who you taking?
I got to take the Bucs too. Tom expected to have their starting center Jensen back. He gets injured in OTAs. That just kind of steamrolled all momentum, and they're worse than the Packers. Honestly, they lost Shaquille Barrett in the last game. Their linebacker. They're like, they can't run the ball with the offensive line banged up. And Brady just needs a pass catcher out of the backfield. He doesn't really have a tight end. I agree it's not his fault, but he had no time against I completely blanked.
Ravens. They played the Ravens.
Yeah, he had no time in that game, and the Ravens aren't. I mean, they were without Calais Campbell. It's not like they're the best defense. So,
I'm going the other way. I'm going New Orleans Saints. I think the Saints should have fired their defensive coordinator freaking 4 games ago. The Saints offense is clicking. The Saints should have a 5-game lead in this division. Seriously, the Saints should have blown this division wide open. The way they're scoring points, they should have a 3 or 4 game lead already. The defensive coordinator has dropped the ball. They were ranked in the top 5. They should have freaking got rid of them.
So far off.
I'm not.
If you would watch the game,
you guys would see 28+ points in almost all your games.
If you would watch the game, missed tackles. It's my mom.
Chris, is somebody
missed tackles is not on the defensive coordinator, and that's what it is. And also, all 3 of our cornerbacks have missed like 5 games.
It doesn't matter. You got to fire somebody. The defense coordinators to go. You light a fire under people's asses when you're accountable for missed tackles. Then you get on the bench. If your coach ain't benching you because you're missing tackles, then the coach got to go. If your offense is leading that team, your defense is dropping the ball.
I agree. But the past 3 games we've gotten better and better, and now we just put up 0 points for the Raiders. That's a huge start. Let's keep it going. We're starting to get healthy, and rookies are stepping up. So we can only go up in their NFC West. Seattle 49ers,
Rams, out of that quick.
Cardinals. I'm taking the Rams and the Cardinals. I think the 49ers and Seahawks are starting to find their identity, starting to take off with this division. Seahawks have a 3-game winning streak. The Rams and Cardinals both just took L's, which is huge because they're both either 0-2 or 1-2 in the division.
I think 2 teams, honestly.
That's what I just said.
I think the Rams and Arizona, but I think McVay. But listen to me. I'm giving my opinion.
No, I know, but the way you said it was funny.
I think McVay gets a pass because he went to the Super Bowl last year. I think he gets a pass. But Arizona, I think their coach is on the hot seat. I mean,
and Kyler, in my opinion. I'm sorry.
Well, they're screwed. They just re-signed him to an extension.
I know.
They're screwed. But I think Arizona has dropped the ball. I mean, they were projected to be. I picked them last year to win a division. Not even close. But I think it's time for a change. I really do. I think Arizona has a little bit more of an edge of pressure on them because the Rams get that pass because of the Super Bowl last year.
Hopkins saved them coming back against the Saints. He pretty much saved them yesterday too. He made a great one-handed catch against the Vikes, even though the Vikings felt like it just felt like the Vikings were going to win that game the entire time. There were, excuse me, there was points where the Cardinals were kind of driving in the second half, but first half, I mean, I think we've talked about it before. Arizona's a worse scoring team in the first quarter, or at least maybe the first half in general. And without those 2 pick sixes against the Saints,
they lose.
That game is completely different too.
That was
you know what?
The wide receiver's fault.
I honestly think if I'm the owner of that team, the first one to go is the GM. The GM may put Cliff Kingsbury in a horrible position by getting rid of freaking Christian Kirk, one of your best receivers on your team. You let him go to the Jacksonville Jaguars, and now you get D-Hop, who is averaging 10 receptions a game because he's the only target they have beside Ertz. So they kind of destroyed what they had going.
Yeah. They should trade for someone. I mean, they got Robbie Anderson, but I don't know how he's played against the Vikings.
Robbie Anderson, against the guy who went from the Jets to Carolina, just and said, "I want to go back to the Jets" when he was with Carolina, and he's just a mess, man.
He is. I forgot he even signed with the Cardinals. The one thing I'll say about with Kyler Murray, they had same with Jackson, because didn't they? Jackson has 1 year left. I think Murray would have had 1 year left on his deal. There was no reason to give him this money that soon. Let him play this out. Like, that was a terrible decision. So I agree. Get rid of the GM. That honestly was a terrible move.
Well, hey guys,
GM of the year is the Eagles GM. I mean, that guy
I agree.
Is just
I agree.
Howie Roseman is the GM of the year. As much as I hate the fucking Eagles, he is the GM of the year. I mean, he's built that team up to where they need. Now, look, they're going to be in trouble down the road because of all the people they have brought on. But
Chauncey Gardner-Johnson's a free agent. But hey, I love having a 3-0 sit down with you guys, and I hope we could do this again next week, because when it's 3-0, it makes my week 10 times better, especially when my team wins, even if your team doesn't. As long as the Saints win, I'm happy.
Yeah, and by the way, Russell Wilson, for all you haters out there, had his 26th fourth quarter comeback, tied second most since 2012, behind Stafford, who has 28, and Tannehill, who has 26.
Shouldn't even have had it. Should have just been playing better.
Come on, don't give him credit for.
At the end of the day, let's ride, because it's Halloween. We're gonna go ride into the night.
Well, real quick before we ride into the night and give out candy to the kids who come begging. Let me ask you this, Ace. Are you worried about the Vikings? Because, the Vikings have their, 5th now straight one-score victory?
No, because I think these were the games we lost last year. We lost we lost to Arizona last year on a field goal in the last second anyways last year. So knowing that we have a better coaching staff, we're not making boneheaded plays as much, I feel a little more confident about where we're heading.
All I got to say is in 3 weeks' time, I'm coming on this podcast decked out in all my cowboy gear.
Oh, yes.
We get you guys in Minnesota, where you got beat and stomped on by Cooper Rush last year. And you're getting one of the best quarterbacks in football, Dak Prescott, and one of the best defenses coming in there. They're going to rip Kirk Cousins to death.
That defense honestly does scare me. I think they're going to give our line a very tough time.
My hot take is still that the Jets are going to beat the Bills. Don't take us on our words, guys. Like we say every single week, we're not professionals, but we believe ourselves to be professionals.
Honestly, this was a great podcast. I had a whole freaking section, which I'm going to save for Ace. I have a whole section on the Minnesota Twins and what's going to happen with them next year. And the little beggars are going to come knocking soon. So we got to go hand out candy to the little beggars.
Hey, well, we hope you guys enjoy your Halloween. I still can't believe tomorrow's November already. Get ready for Christmas coming quick, because we all know that's how America is. But hope you guys enjoy your week, and we will see you next time on the Everything Goes podcast.